Hi, everyone. Hi, Taylor. How are you today?
Hello, I'm great. How are you today?
Good. You're all Christmassy. I am on the Gulf Coast. It is a blustery day today. So this is
Mm,
beach hair, real tight.
real
Um,
time.
yes, it is
But there's
very
nothing like
humid.
that
It's very
salt air.
salty. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I'm enjoying
My
this. I am.
I
Mhm.
love it. That's a special city. My great grandparents had a house down there, so we spent the summers down in
Oh,
Gulf
it's
Shores when it
beautiful.
wasn't fashionable. It was a quiet, quaint little town and no
Yeah.
tourists really, and it was a beautiful place to go and visit growing up.
So I've been right now. I'm in Pensacola Beach, and I've been on the
Okay.
mother of all road trips. I've been from Jacksonville to New Orleans and back.
You've done it
And then I'm
all.
coming to Huntsville next week, so I'll have some more time in Huntsville.
Exciting. But
It's
is
my
this and you're
extended
having
birthday
your
month,
is
extended
this your
birthday month celebration. Yes,
and your first American Thanksgiving?
yes, absolutely. So I'm
Exciting,
looking forward to that.
yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it'll be exciting for you.
Mhm. So this is my big trip, and one of the
Yes,
things that
let's
I
hear all
wanted to do
about
on
it.
this, well, there's a lot of white sand, and this is great.
It's
But
beautiful.
also, I wanted to, the timing and the shutdown. So I came in on the Friday, right at a couple of days after the shutdown, more or less ended, and there was a bit of, I was a little nervous, like, are my flights going to be on time? Like, selfishly, like, this won't affect me. It didn't really, and everything worked out very well. And I was surprised by how normal everything feels,
Here.
regardless of all the nonsense. Yeah, and like generally, and I talked to a lot of people, not just in restaurants, but I mean, I go on the street and I just talk to people, and I am struck by how normal or like not any abnormal relative to the usual Southern United States. And
Right.
it doesn't feel different.
It's and it's not normal at all from like the citizenship side of this is completely abnormal. I think we've just become desensitized to the craziness because every day it's another wave of insanity. Like
Okay.
you just go really tone deaf to it. I mean, you hear it on the news. This trying to court martial sitting senator who's not even like this is so abnormal. Like you're just like, what's are we ever going to wake up?
So
Fingers
there's
crossed.
that,
We
and
will.
you're right,
Yeah.
and you're right, and yet or maybe it's a conscious decision. Wow, I do speak English. Conscious decision on the part of regular people who don't want to think about it all the time. Because
You
if you
get
spend
it's
your days,
exhausting.
it's exhausting, right? So people are just like, screw it. This is a
Right.
holiday week for a lot of people. There's a lot of people on the beach, even though it's off season, with kids because they take the week off because it's Thanksgiving. They travel
Absolutely.
to see family and take a break from the insanity. And he's just mouthing off whatever. And then people are just like, oh, these threatening sitting legislators with death now. And I'm like, whatever. It's
What
just
are
another day
we
in
in
Trump
like
land.
revolutionary France? Like, what are we doing? Like
Exactly. Like
I
everyone's
don't
jumped the shark. And we're like, who
right.
cares
Well,
anymore?
so this was the thing with I can't think of the senator's name, the astronaut, and he was in the
R. Kelly.
service. Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
He is the
And
husband of Gabby Giffords, the woman who
yes,
got
that
shot in the
yes,
face
assassinated.
a couple of
Yes.
cycles ago.
Um, and he's a former
Astronaut.
military
That's
personnel
right.
and astronaut. He
And
is a
that's
sitting
right.
legislator now, and we're trying him with a court martial, which is military law in the US. Um, and for a sitting legislator or just a civilian period to
Yeah.
be under that tribunal is very, very odd.
And for his offense, I use the very heavy quotation marks here, of
Right.
having issued, I think it was a letter or video
Video.
to service members telling them that they have a duty to refuse an illegal order. That's because their
Fair.
duty, when you swear allegiance and you're a sworn member of public law, or law enforcement, or armed forces, that's true in the United States and that's true in Canada. You swear an oath not to the person who's currently in the chair, the leader of the country. You swear an oath to the
To the
Constitution,
country.
or the
Right.
people, or the country, right? So there's variations,
Absolutely.
but that's true in every advanced country. And that's how we're not banana republics. That's because
Re-
we swear allegiance to the system, the crown, the president, not the president, sorry, the Constitution or the people. And that's an
It,
absolutely true thing that he told those service members, that they do have a duty to resist or refuse orders that are
right,
clearly
illegal.
illegal. Um, and Donald Trump doesn't like it. And
You
so he's
know,
saying what he says, and most people are like, whatever. What about those Epstein files? They're still
right. It's
back on
just the
that.
next thing to try to distance himself from that. And before I went to the mill today, we had the morning news on, and while I was getting ready, and it was breaking news that he was pardoning the two national turkeys. And so
Yeah.
I've seen all day, it's like, well, he's already pardoned, like
So
1,800
many other
turkeys.
turkeys. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Like these Thanksgiving turkeys aren't really, the
Yeah.
issue here at hand. But that was
Yeah.
breaking news this morning. I was like, oh, okay. And you do get, because I just roll my eyes and keep going. I'm like, this is news, people. Like, let's get to the meat and potatoes of what's going on.
And I had a similar reaction. And just before I move on to the Canadian part of that, the side of that story, I just wanted to say, I will put a link down. There's a wonderful American historian. Her name is Heather Cox Richardson, who writes, and she calls it Letter from an American. And a couple of days ago, she wrote one about Andrew Jackson, the president that came in after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, and who also had a similar call for, trying people and putting them to death for being against his agenda. So this is not fully unprecedented. Nobody's quite like Donald Trump, but there's
Right.
also precedent. So I'll put a link to that. I'm not qualified to discuss this from a historical standpoint. I'm not an American
Right.
historian, but I just found it interesting. So I'll make sure that I share it.
It's
People can read
very
it and make up their own minds. Yeah. What did you think of it?
interesting that we're taking it there, because with Andrew Jackson after Lincoln, that was the end of the Civil War. Like,
Right.
you had a whole part of this country that was trying to um, defect and make their own country.
Mhm.
I think the precedent then was a little different than it is now. People are just
Right.
standing up and giving, in my opinion, factual
Mhm.
arguments of why this is crazy, why it's not normal. And I don't think it's apples to apples. The two times in history that we're bringing it up, nobody's trying to
Right.
defect. People are just trying to get groceries down,
Right.
insurance down, to the truth. And these sitting members of Congress that have been there for so long that just go along with this puppet show, like MTG. Oh
Thank
my
you.
God,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I know she's
Like, she's
quitting.
stepping down, and whether it's to offer up her seat, or she knows it's going to be just a terrible midterm for her because she's stood up against him. It's okay to stand up for what's right. You don't have to agree with everything the president does as an American.
Mhm.
That's not your job. You're there
Mhm.
to represent the people that elected you, not
That's
the
right.
man that you're afraid of.
That's right. And there's some people who say, and I don't know the background of the whole story. I don't have sources close to her, but that she's afraid because for
Absolutely.
MAGA going against her, that's the first time she's afraid. And it was on a Kara Swisher show. Some other commentator was saying this woman has been hated by the left for, ever since she came onto the scene, right?
Right.
She's had, and she never before that felt scared for her life or for her safety or for her family. And now that MAGA is going after her, she is scared enough to quit. That
To
was that
leave her.
person's interpretation. I don't know that that's the right interpretation. I'm not close to Marjorie Taylor Greene, so I don't know.
But
But it
it
certainly sounds
tracks,
plausible. It tracks
for sure.
exactly, and that says something about MAGA that is not great.
the- it's
And
it's not the most peaceful group of people as a rule.
Mhm. Mhm. And it's
It's not.
interesting to me because every time I'm down here, I actively seek out Trump supporters to ask them why, and I don't
Right.
challenge them. I say like I'm not a citizen. I want to hear from you, and I will sometimes say, well, what about this? But not in a like trying to pick at them. Just I really want them to tell me why they today still support the president and the reasons, it's interesting because very often they will say, I don't agree with everything he does, and I don't like his tone, or I don't like the way ICE is going after people and going to Home Depots or those kinds of raids. Um, But I will agree with him on the need to drain the swamp or the need to get rid of corruption. And even then, I will ask, do you not see that there is corruption today with these people?
Like,
No, they
there's
don't
more
see that one. But
corruption. There's more
yeah,
corruption now, in my opinion, than there's ever been. On the Democratic
yeah.
side of things, when you look back, to the Clinton dynasty and everyone that was around that, and oh, I can't even think of her name. That's stepping down from San Diego.
Don't remember.
That used to be the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
Oh,
You
Nancy
know, like
Pelosi. Yeah.
these, these Democratic figureheads that have been around for so long. I mean, that's what he was referring to as the swamp. He's just replaced the swamp with new gators. It's no different. There's no less swamp. But I agreed with that thing that Trump said, that it needs to be changed. It needs to be drained. But when you bring your whole family in and they're benefiting off of, literally every decision you
Bitcoins and
make,
selling everything. Yeah.
right, with the Saudis and
Mm,
them investing $1 billion in the US. But
mm,
they want a two-state solution in Israel, and whether you agree with that or not, it seems like they're trying to buy that from
mhm.
us.
Right.
And I don't think that that's right. Now, I don't know what the answer is because I'm not educated enough on all the history and what's going on. I know right and wrong, but you know when solutions are paid for, it is that a solution?
Right. And
Just
for
leaves a
whom?
bad taste in your
Yeah.
mouth, right?
It does. And interestingly enough, so to bring it back to the Canadian thing, so just I think it was yesterday, somebody asked the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, so when's the last time you talked with Donald Trump personally?
Mm,
And and the Prime Minister got a little bit frustrated and he said, and he answered, and I quote, "Who cares?" And that's so I wrote a piece about that saying thank you because
right.
that's exactly the right answer to this. Now some other people are like, how dare he say don't, who cares? He's right
Who
because I
cares?
think
Right.
the prime minister sees that Donald Trump is, I mean, he's been a lame duck since he got elected, right? Because that's a second term constitutionally, blah blah blah. So that's always true on somebody's last term, that they're a lame duck from the minute they get elected. But I don't think that Donald Trump has a lot of influence anymore geopolitically and when it comes to Canada's interests. Because
Right.
we know where he stands, we know what he wants to do. He's done it already. He's out of ammo, so to speak, right? In this trade
Mm,
war, economic trade
right.
war. Like what else is there? There's nothing. And
Right.
we know it. And so everybody's adjusting to this. And our prime minister is looking for other advanced partners. There was the king and queen of Sweden just were in Ottawa this past week. There's a huge deal from Saab on the table worth I don't know thousands of jobs. I don't have the details at my fingertips, but there's a huge economic possibility or opportunity there.
Right.
They've been trying to go every which way, trying to find new opportunities, trade routes, supply chains, all kinds of things are happening. And what you're going to find as America and Americans at some point is that the rest of the world, you'll still be strong because you're big and yeah, you've got some of the best in the world, but the rest of the world will have
It's not going to
found other ways
rely.
to, yeah, not play with you anymore or not as
Right. Right.
much.
Right.
And that's, I don't know, I wouldn't do that on purpose if I were leading the United States government myself, but what do I know?
You would think you wanted strategic partners across the globe,
Yeah.
especially your neighbors here at home. And I get it with
Yes.
our southern neighbors and the fentanyl crisis and the drug epidemic that's coming across the border. That has to be addressed somehow. Are we
Right.
doing it right? I,
Who knows? Yeah.
no, like
Yeah.
it's still getting in here. We're worried about bombing Venezuela. It's not coming from Venezuela. I think we've got bigger fish to fry, but
Mhm.
it's just like, why do we have issue with
Yeah.
Canada? I don't understand it.
I
We're
know.
not even getting our tariff checks anymore. Every American was
That's
supposed to
right.
get a $2,000 check off these tariffs that he's put into
Mhm.
place, and then all of a sudden that's gone. He just speaks completely out of turn. Like, it's
Right.
just nonsense.
Yeah. John Stewart said that Canada was the labradoodle of allies. And I think he
Okay.
very
I
famously
love
said,
John
why would you
Stewart.
pick it?
Yes.
I know. Why would you pick a fight with Canada? Like, and it's not to say that there aren't. items or things in the trade agreements that we've had over the years and the history. And it's true that Canada's been a bit of a freeloader when it comes to defense, for instance, because we know that the United States will defend the continent because you share of it. You know, you're
Right.
almost half of it. And so this has allowed Canada historically to underinvest, if that's a word, in military and defense issues.
Well,
That's
and just
that's
to
been a
live.
that's been an argument, but and it's fine. You bring it up, have discussions over this, even have a mini trade war over this if you have to. But at least that's a principled discussion point.
Sit down and have the discussion,
Right.
not just cut you off.
That's right.
That's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
It's
So
right. We need a refresher in citizenship here in the United States, I think.
yes. Yeah, that would be
Oh,
good.
I think that's
But
from all the years of, PE coaches teaching civics and
right.
government, and it's the good old boys. And I think we've lost sight of what that is. So,
Mm. Well, and what else is going on in your world? You've
well,
decorated for Christmas.
we've decorated for Christmas. I've got this beautiful family it's the only family I still do their home during the holidays, but it's a very large home and it's a lot of decorating, and it takes me and Cuz 3 days
Oh
nonstop
wow.
to get it done. So if our Christmas isn't done here, it won't get done after that house. I'm so burnt out. I'm so covered in glitter. The holiday spirit for decorating is gone. So I have to get
Yeah.
ours done first,
Right.
because we're not having Thanksgiving here. We're having it at mom's house, and it's, it's up and out of the way. This is the extent of it. There are two stockings and one tree, and that's it. But it is very beautiful from the road because you see the tree from both roads,
Oh, nice. Well,
and
I'll see that
yes, you'll get
next
to see
week.
it
Yes,
soon.
because
Yes.
I'm staying
Hmm.
around like around the block at the same house where I was staying last time, so we'll
Yay,
be
right down the
neighbors.
street.
Yes,
That's
that's
right.
right.
So while
That's
you
right.
run, I can pedal my tricycle.
There you go. Maybe we do that together. That'll be great. All
Yes,
right.
it
So I
would be
look
great,
forward to
right?
that. Yes, and maybe
Yes,
next time we do this next episode side by each, like we did once when we were
right
in the
at the
same
nail.
location.
Do it somewhere
So,
cool. Yeah,
so that the people
so
can see us
exciting.
together and see that we
That's
exist and
right.
we can touch each other like we're real
That's right.
people.
This is not AI, people. This is the real
Yeah,
deal.
that's it. That's it. So I want to wish you and Michael a wonderful, and your family and your mom
Oh,
and cousin and everyone a beautiful and wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm about to
thank you,
experience it for
dear.
the first time
Yes, you as
with a lovely
well.
family. So I'll
Gobble
be
till
able
you
to give
wobble.
my yeah.
That's the thing.
Okay, and
Just
maybe I'll
eat
go on
it
the
and
treadmill
enjoy it.
after. Yeah.
That's
Okay
right.
then. All right. So I'll
All
talk to you
right.
later.
Have a great
Bye.
Thanksgiving. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.